so direct about it.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, nah, it's fucking bullshit. You know, or like I'm not going to tolerate it really. You know. Or I'm like, okay, go follow that and let me know how you go. Because there's a reason you're coming to me, because what you're listening to isn't working. Because people are looking for this 30-second magic. And this is where, like, you know, the GLPs are blowing up at the moment. And it's so hard because, like, yes, they work, but it doesn't mean you don't do the work you're supposed to do anyways, you know? What's the smallest thing you can start with? Breakfast, lunch, dinner. What's the easiest thing for you to work on first? I always find the easiest things to work on first, because the only way you gain motivation is by knocking over the first domino. Comparison, but also the 30-second Instagram coaches, or the 30-second, like I refuse to download TikTok because I just call it like the brain drain.
Kick a G.
Oh man, welcome back. So, been a big couple of weeks, hasn't it?
Massive
Couple of weeks, and so we got a guest on today. I'm letting him introduce himself. So you guys might have seen him in the studio like over the last year or two, either training or doing a bit of nutrition stuff. I think he almost whipped you at our relay.
Okay, bro. Okay.
I do remember that we had that day, and it was sort of like I remember they brought some food samples in, and then we were talking about the relay we're having, and Ty steps up, and I think it was like maybe a couple of seconds between the two of you.
I can never say no. I can never say no.
Well, anyway, you want to introduce yourself, my guy?
Oh yeah, sure. So my name is Tyson the trainer. I've been coaching since I was 17, so 13 years
Holy
now.
shit, bro.
Yeah, man.
That young?
Yeah. So I started as a PT when I was 16. Like, I got into the gym and I was doing PT on the side. And then when I moved to Sydney when I was 18, I basically just went straight into PT.
Gotcha.
So I was doing that, and then I think I'm pretty sure I was about 22. So 4 years on, I started doing my nutrition side of things. And that's just because, like, no one was getting results. Like, you know, people were in the gym, they were training, and I was like, there's got to be something else. And
There's a missing piece.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I wasn't the best with food. Like, I learned from like bodybuilding.com forums when I was like 16. So I was like, you got to weigh and measure everything, you know? And I'm like, oh, plain oats every morning, like with nothing, man. The worst. You know? Yeah. And now I can eat tuna from a tin, like spring water, no problem at all, because like I train myself. And I was like, I got to learn to be better about nutrition, because normal people don't want to live like that either, you know? So I kind of learned for myself, but at the same time also wanted to help other clients. So yeah, I've been doing nutrition and training for the last like nearly 10 years at least, yeah. Keeping me busy.
Where'd you move from?
Townsville, so up in North Queensland.
Oh, my man.
Yeah.
Man, was the game hard for you last week?
The what?
Was the game hard for you?
Oh, bro, I've been going for Broncos, so the game's been hard for me since we've been losing for a while.
Not
then the cherry on the top, mate, you know what? I don't know if we can swear. I'm not going to swear, but Ashley Klein can fuck himself.
You can swear.
That guy has still got gambling problems for sure. I have not been upset about a game for so long. And my missus is like, oh, we should go to bed. I'm like, I'm not going to bed yet. Like, I'm not.
I gotta walk this one off. I gotta walk this one
I'm
off.
going to go for a workout right now to cool down.
You know, I watched a cool clip from Paul Gallen, and he's like, you know, you're right when you watch it. He did knock the ball on, and then he goes back and, but what about this year when Bruce Slater did this? What about this year when Hodges did this?
He brings up all the other mistakes. Yeah.
A win's a win. If you guys won, like, which you would have won proper, I would have gave you a hand clap. But the way, bro, I was just so dirty about it, man. You know? Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, no,
I have felt like that many times.
He supports Parramatta.
Oh, mate, a rough one.
Yeah. Dude, I want to circle back to something that you mentioned. So you said you started as a PT like 16, 17.
Yeah, 16, 17.
So how at that age, how do you find coaching people that might be in their 30s or 40s that have been training for so long?
No idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I started training so young, and like when you're younger, you learn body awareness and stuff like that, right? And I just started off training just friends and family, trying to teach people. But like to show my mum, and she doesn't know how to squat, I'm like, just sit down. Like, what are you talking about? Or like, you know, when you go for a bent over row and they just like hunch over, I'm like, how do I teach this person how to do this? So a lot of it was really like realizing that like I had to think about other people, because at 16, you kind of just mainly think about yourself too. So I had to learn a lot. And I think that's actually why people think I was a little bit older than I was, because I was spending a lot of time with older people and learning from them, and then also trying to be more empathetic and learn like how I can teach these people how to exercise properly.
Was it something that you were always passionate about, or do you feel like something you just kind of accidentally fell into? Like as you're training, all of a sudden you're training other people, helping other people, and then you're like, holy, this is something I actually like doing?
Yeah, I kind of fell into it. So like I was a truck mechanic when I was in Townsville, which I was doing at 16 years old too. And I was just so into my health and fitness. And then my mum and dad were like, why don't you shoot a PT certificate? And, you know, it's online. You do it for like 6 months or whatever. So I kind of just did it, you know. And I always thought, oh, I'll do it on the side, which I did do until I decided like Townsville's not really a good place, like unless you want to stay small and kind of do nothing. So I was like, I got to get away. And I went to Sydney and I was working as a retail, like just in a retail job. And I was like, oh, maybe I could give the PT thing a try. And I kind of just fell into it, you know? Like I was a trainer at Fitness First Newtown. And I just said to the manager one day, oh, you guys looking for a PT? He goes, oh, yeah, we are actually. And it was kind of just from there. So like full-time PT from 18 years old. And I think just because I'm a people person, it just works, you know? Like anything that involves people, I just like to do. So, and then having the enjoyment for fitness and training and nutrition, that obviously just worked hand in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been in the industry, so how long again?
How old am I now? 30. So what, 12, 13, 14 years.
So you've seen a few changes, you've seen a few fads.
Yeah, and I've been in the fads.
Yeah. Tell us about one of the fads you've been in.
Oh, intermittent fasting was my whole life. You know? You're going to burn so much more fat doing the 16-8. And then it's like, you know, you'd push it to the 24 and then one day you do a 24-hour fast. I'm just like, I'm just burning fat. I'm like 67 kilos, bro. Like, you know,
you don't need
I've
to
got
burn
nothing to burn. I've got nothing else to burn, really. So, yeah, I saw a lot of it, you know. And it's funny, like, you see things starting to happen again, or people still talk about things that you heard back in, like, you know, 2010, 2012. People still talk about creatine. Oh, should we be taking creatine? I'm like, come on, bro. Like, how are we still? Yeah, exactly.
How are we still having that conversation?
100%. You know, or like, oh, I heard this is bad for you. I'm like, bro, come on. Like, it just kind of recycles itself in a way too. Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
And so you would have gone through those ups and downs where you've got people coming to you over different phases, like, oh, I watched this person online, or I watched this person's blog, and then to the point of I watched their Instagram, I watched their TikTok, and you as a person who's been in the industry for that long now, like you are now trying to compete with these 30-second trainers, if that makes sense.
100%. And like, I think people just like that I'm so direct about it.
Yeah.
You know? I'm like, nah, it's fucking bullshit. You know, or like I'm not going to tolerate it really. You know, or I'm like, okay, go follow that and let me know how you go. Because there's a reason you're coming to me, because what you're listening to isn't working at the end of the day. You know, and I don't like to sell people on the BS. And it's like, I'm telling you it's going to be hard. I'm telling you it's going to be a challenge. If you don't like it, that's sweet. But what else are you going to do? Go follow someone who's going to tell you it's easy and you can lose all this weight. You're either going to regain it or you're not going to get the results you want, you know? Because people are looking for this 30-second magic. And this is where, like, you know, the GLPs are blowing up at the moment. And it's so hard because, like, yes, they work, but it doesn't mean you don't do the work you're supposed to do anyways, you know?
Yeah. They're not in replace of.
100%. Like my boss.
And when you say GLPs, like to people that don't know what that is,
they're the weight loss peptides, I guess you would say, just for a simplified term. So we started off with Ozempic, which was, like, you know, quite popular. We've moved through, which is semaglutide. Then we moved through Mounjaro, which is tirzepatide, and basically what's made all peptides blow up is retatrutide, you know? Like all the other peptides have come along with retatrutide being so popular. So they're like your three main weight loss ones we'd talk about, like your generations of weight loss. The way I talk about the GLPs is like your Ozempic is like your iPhone 8. It's the new cool thing. Everyone's like, wow, like what is this? But obviously there's bugs and stuff that you've got to go through, and that's when tirzepatide came out, like a few little tweaks, and that's also got 2 receptors. So your what did I say first? I'm having Ozempic starts with 1 receptor, tirzepatide is 2, and retatrutide is 3 receptors, right? And with that, it's like people, like I used to say it's the iPhone 8, the iPhone 12, the iPhone 16, right? But now I kind of look at tirzepatide and retatrutide as like the iPhone versus the Android. While retatrutide is the new exciting thing and it's got 3 receptors, it doesn't mean it works for everyone. A majority of people like the iPhone, it works for them, but some people still get benefits more of tirzepatide / Mounjaro than they do on retatrutide. Gotcha. So everyone's got to kind of mix and match to find what they want. But like I said, even with these, you still got to do the work. Like when I was doing construction for a little bit, my boss, he took some, lost a lot of weight, and then he goes, bro, I look like shit. I said, when's the last time you went to the gym? He goes, oh, I'm not going to the gym. I'm like, well, you look like a pear. Like, what do you expect, man? You know, like people just think it's this answer to lose weight. And it's like, yes, but if you don't do it the right way, you're not going to look good. You're not going to feel good. And especially if you don't change your diet. Like the hardest thing is me trying to educate people. This does not mean you just give up on eating a lot of protein, eating your fruits and vegetables, doing the right things. You still got to do that, even though, like, because when you lose the weight, you're going to want to come off it eventually. If you don't have those good habits, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And it's cool. We kind of just naturally segued into talking about
Yeah.
peps, man, because it was one of the things we wanted to talk about having you on. So like on your social channels, like you'll often talk about some of these and their benefits, and you'll give people advice and direction. So yeah, it's kind of cool. You've already like chimed straight into
Fell
it.
into it, yeah.
Yeah. And there's so like obviously they're weight loss ones, but then there's obviously, and it's peptides are such a buzz right now. Like we have multiple members ask us questions, asking about these daily. Like what do we recommend? Like that's not our place. Like we're not here to recommend which one you should take or what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
But you're very knowledgeable in the space.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of cool to kind of pick your brain a little bit. So like you can kind of help share like some experiences and stuff you know about them. So you've obviously touched on some weight loss peps, but another couple of people often talk about recovery peps, like the TB and BPC.
Yep.
It'd be kind of cool to get your feedback, at least your knowledge on like how they work and what benefits people can get from them.
Yeah, so kind of like when we look at our healing ones, we've got a few. So we've got like your BPC, which is probably the most popular recovery one people know about. Then you got your TB 500. You've also got KPV to reduce inflammation, and then GHKCU can be for like wound healing too. A lot of people use GHKCU for like the skin, So we have like 4 as our main priority ones that we focus on for recovery. Again, BPC will be your most popular one. So for anyone with like a small injury, whether it be like tendonitis, tennis elbow, any of those things, BPC will do the job. So BPC is local to where the injury is. So if you're going to take BPC, ideally, a lot of people say, oh, take it in your fat. You want to inject it as close to the injury site as possible because you want to give it, basically BPC is your workers, right? So you need more workers to help recover. That's what BPC is going to do. Then you have TB 500. TB 500 is like more systematic, so it'll work all through your body. Basically, they work hand in hand, which is why you'll see you can get vials that are like they're paired up together. And even though you're supposed to take TB less frequently, you can take it more frequently as long as the dose is the same. Right. So if you ever get a vial of BP and TB together, people say, oh, well, you need to take TB twice a week and BPC every day. It's really much to a muchness. It's about the total dosage you're going to be taking.
Right.
So the same thing, though, if you do have an injury, the closer you can get to injecting it, the more likely you're going to recover from that injury, right? Because, again, BPC is more local and TB is systematic, which is all through the body. But if you go, like, into your stomach, let's say you didn't know you had a niggle on your knee, but you're actually trying to fix your elbow, you just want to be pointing to the site that it's going to be at.
And when we say injuries, so like muscle, tendon, ligaments...
tears, surgery, tendonitis, kind of like anything that's not like, oh, I've got a little niggle. If it goes away in a day or two, you don't obviously need to increase it. But anything that's been going ongoing, bursitis, I think surgeries are really popular at the moment. I've had a lot of people that have gone through surgery and I've given them the close stack, which is your KPV and GHKCU along with TB and BP. And it's just night and day difference, A lot of people say, oh, we don't have research. I'm like, well, yeah, well, I understand we don't have the research, but you see anecdotally from the people healing, Right. I've got a female and she's a jockey and like she's a professional jockey and she had to get an ACL done. She started the CLO the day after and she went in for a 2 weeks check and the surgeon that's been doing surgery for 21 years said she's one of the fastest healing she's ever had. Out of all the people he's done surgeries on. Inflammation was a lot down. Like, it looks like it's probably 6 or 7 weeks post-surgery, And that's also because not just the healing ones, but the KPV to reduce the inflammation around the site. You don't want to fully ever eliminate inflammation because you need
helps the recovery process.
Exactly, right? But you still need to pull down a little bit. And then especially if you've got a wound, so when I cut my hand open, like GHKCU is going to be for wound healing too. So that's why the 4 are good together when you've got surgery or you've got an open wound or anything like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And obviously like a lot of these are still in like testing phases and like they're not like FDA approved. Like how does that process work?
How does the process?
Yeah, like if these are so beneficial to people,
yep,
and it's proven that they work, like why are they not approved yet?
Can't make money.
Can't make money,
man. They're amino acids.
Because pharmaceutical companies can't make money.
Yeah, 100%. They're amino acids, right? You cannot. What do they say? What's the word called? Can't think of the word.
You can't
patent.
like,
you can't
can't
patent.
patent
Right? Yeah. You
because
can
aminos.
100%. You can with the GLPs, right? It's a little bit different with the GLPs. Eli Lilly has basically got the patent for all of them, I'm quite sure. But that's also why, like Eli Lilly, because they are still going through stage 3 trials and they can't sell retatrutide right now, they're actually paying the FDA in America and the TGA in Australia to basically try and shut down anyone talking about it because they're missing out on billions of dollars, right? Because they can't sell that product until it's gone through rigorous testing to say, okay, that's okay to sell to the public. So it's all a fear mongering now, like 60 Minutes, A Current Affair, all these like places are talking about it. But as soon as Eli Lilly is allowed to sell it, you'll see all of that disappear. 100%.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And like, sorry, fine.
No, you're right.
So recently, there's been this thing in the news about there's been like 6 people that have gone to hospital from taking peptides, right? From this certain company, I think. One because it wasn't tested, but it's like, oh, they've had liver issues. No one died. No one had to get a liver replaced or anything like that. They just had like some liver issues. And they're like, oh, you got to be careful with peptides. But it's like, let's look at how many daily issues people have with alcohol, you know? Overconsumption, alcohol poisoning, all these things. That's, you know, but that's taxed, so that's absolutely fine. Same as smoking, that's taxed, that's absolutely fine. But because we can't get any money from peptides, these things are the worst thing in the world right now. Yeah.
Right. And then when these products are getting sold and they say like research purposes only, that's like the purpose of that is to on-sell them, but like advising people like you shouldn't take these. Like how does that word?
You actually can't get around that. Like even though it says research purposes only, if the government wants to fine you or like the police want to fine you, they can fine you.
Yeah.
The research thing does not get you out of it at all.
Right.
You know? I actually called a lawyer to find out about it. You know? I was like, oh, so what's the go? If I was to hypothetically ever, you know, deal with this, and they're like, that's not saving you, you know?
Right.
So they think it's a loophole, which originally I think it could have been, but right now it doesn't matter.
Okay.
If you are selling something like peptides are technically illegal, research or not, you know?
Right.
You are not allowed to sell them. You're not allowed to supply them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that mean they're illegal to take?
It's kind of like other drugs where it's like in possession. I don't like, you know, police aren't looking for that at the moment. Right? There's bigger things to fry at the end of the day. If you get your hands on it however you can, you know, I wouldn't be scared wondering if a policeman's going to knock on your door.
Right.
They're looking for bigger fish to deal with at the moment, you know? And while the TGA says, oh, we're clamping down on it, we're looking at it, like you can literally go on Google and look up peptides and you're going to see websites and websites and websites, you know?
That are selling them.
Right there. And it's like, if you're being so harsh on them, how can you not just straight away go on that website and shut them down? So I think it's more of a fear-mongering side of things just because of the money they can't make. But it's like what I find so hard is like these things are being so beneficial. And, you know, people say to me, oh, I would never inject that. I'm like, that's funny. I've seen what you've done on the weekend. Like, you know, things like that. It's like, oh, you put the COVID jab in your body. Like, I also did.
Yeah.
But it's like, we didn't know anything about that. And these things that are actually supposed to be helping and healing you, that's what you're scared of. Like, it really, really confuses me when people have that kind of justification.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like if you break down Panadol.
Bro, yeah.
Break down Panadol and how many people take Panadol every day, but break it down, like actually break it down what goes into Panadol. You'd be amazed.
Man, and it's like, or like the same as like Advil. People take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Advils a day. Or the amount of medications out there that have severe side effects. Like, none of these peptides are going to cause massive depression or anything like that. Bro, what are the first things anti-anxiety or antidepressants make? Like, erectile dysfunction, you know, you may be apathetic, like all these things. And it's like, you sell these all the time, but you're saying, oh, a possible side effect where I get nausea from something, or like a possible side effect where some GLPs do kill libido a little bit. And it's like, these are not really that, like no one's going to jump off a roof because of that, you know, but we see people dying.
Well, so does alcohol.
Like, what's that? Yeah,
like,
straight up.
Yeah.
Or fighting. These things aren't going to make you want to punch people, right? They're not. Peptides are different to steroids, which is a huge thing that people don't understand. But it's also like, all these things that can be taxed that are actually bad for you, they're fine. But because we can't tax this, they're the worst thing ever.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Do you see a day, like, and if you do, like, how far in the future do you think it is, where these are publicly accessible, and it's part of doctors prescribing these medications?
I don't know, because like I think in a way we follow America to a degree, right? So like, you know, America's legalized weed for how many years now? And we've got ACT that does it. And basically, they don't really care if you've got it on your person, but it's still not technically legal, right? Unless you've got a prescription and stuff like that, which you can get. But how long did that take us behind America?
Yeah.
You know? What we're looking at in America now, they're changing the legality of it with, is it RFK, like Robert Kennedy, whatever his name is, the health guy. So he's trying to change a lot of that. Australia may follow suit, but they may not. And like, ideally it would be great, because people say, oh, what if it becomes legal? Are you scared? I'm like, no, because then it gets more publicity, right?
Yeah.
And like, these things help. So I don't understand what the problem is, but it's like, if they can't make money on it, I don't see if it's actually going to be able to be sold just normally. That's the hard thing.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Goes back, like you said, like the whole thing with marijuana. Like, look at California when they legalized it, crime rate dropped.
100%.
Like how fast did it drop?
Yeah.
Things like that, you know, like certain things like that, and then the health benefits behind THC.
Yep.
And you know, like how they now prescribe it for like cancer patients and all that sort of stuff. Helps with like sleep apnea and all that. You know what I mean? Like now, but these benefits were known 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's not like they've just done some market research on marijuana. Like, oh wow, guess what? They've known about it. But like you said, like it's like if the government can't patent it and make money off it.
Yep.
You know, and then you touched on it when it comes to those peptides. They're amino acids.
Yeah, they're amino acids. You know, we make them in the body.
Yeah.
Right.
Go drink your BCAAs.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And it's interesting because like we've got a lot of research on it. Like not a lot of research, but we still got research. You know, and people say, oh, there aren't enough human trials, and it's like, if you look through TikTok, Instagram, everyone is taking peptides, right? How many? And if we see, 6 people are being hospitalized, I'm like, bro, there's probably over 3 million people plus taking peptides right now. Why are we not seeing more hospitalizations? Why are we not seeing all these negative side effects? And people say, oh, it could possibly be in the long term. And it's like, okay, but we would still see some short-term negative effects if there were these things, right? There are some negative effects of taking high doses of GLPs. So from Ozempic, there's things that have come out about like thyroid cancer and eye health, degeneration, macular degeneration. And I'm like, yeah, you look at these people who are taking such a high, like a dose makes the poison, you know? One alcoholic drink doesn't make a majority of us violent, but if you get 10 and this person has a predisposition to violence, what do you think is going to happen?
Consumption,
you know? 100%. Or like one drink doesn't give me liver poisoning, but if I drink 10 drinks a day for however many years, that's what's going to happen. It's always about the dose makes the poison, you know? So we've got to be careful with that side of things too. And that's why with it being unregulated and people just willy-nilly buying it, they've got to do some due diligence to know how to mix things, you know, how to dose themselves correctly and to make sure they're getting it legitimately, you know? Legitimately is a really important
like the
thing.
source, you mean?
The source, 100%. Like, again, look, it's a grey market. We have to find out where we're going to do it. But like asking for testing, making sure the testing is like within 2026 would be huge. The closer to the date it is now. So what are we in July 16?
Yep.
The closer to July, the better. Like, you know, within the last 3 or 4 months, because the amount of batches that are getting made all the time are just getting pumped out, right? And like people complain to me because I can get it somewhere for a certain price. Let's say $175 for a retatrutide, right? And other people say, oh, I can get it for $100. And I'm like, okay, so if we look over you taking that over 5 or 6 weeks, you're kind of bargaining me about another $6 a week, give or take, or $10 a week, 170 versus 120, right? But it's also like, I know what's in my stuff. The person who I deal with has got it tested. I can prove it all. You're going to buy it from someone cheaper. You have no idea where they got it from. They're just a mate that's not even into fitness. Like everyone, when I was on the construction side, oh, I can get this, I can get this. And I'm like, bro, you guys don't even go to the gym, you know? Like, to me, it's like you've just found a way where you can make a little bit of money by getting something cheap and trying to sell it onwards. They don't give a shit about your health. They care about your money.
Yeah.
So you got to do your due diligence on that stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess like, and that's the thing, like you do see it everywhere and you hear it in multiple conversations and you see it and like we're privy to it. We hear it all the time, you know, like someone they will go out of their way, they'll try it, like they're great. They go tell all their mates about it. Their mates will jump on it, like you said, lack of due diligence. And they go, but like, how was your dosage? And they're just sharing their information.
100%.
All that guesswork. And people are starting to put their trust and faith in, you know, my friend. Whereas, like you said, like take the time, do the research, like understand what you're doing and why.
100%.
And then I like what you said, like there's other work you still got to do. Like it's not a magic pill.
It's not. None of them are.
Yeah, like it's not one of those things you just I'll stay home for 6 weeks and take it and then done. The work's done.
Yeah, 100%. Same as like recovery ones, right? When people say, I've got an injury, okay, you know how to recover really good from that? Those with your rehab.
Yeah.
You don't skip the rehab side of things, you know?
Yeah.
All these things are doing is enhancing what's already happening, basically. You know, so if I've got something that needs to recover, it's going to recover anyways. I'm just trying to recover it a little bit faster. But if I do that along with the rehab I'm supposed to be doing, guess what?
Multiply it with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one friend I dealt with, he didn't do the rehab. And he goes, hey, this didn't work for me. I was like, oh, well, how often do you do the rehab? He goes, oh, I didn't. And I was like, what do you think's going to happen, man?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes people just don't think, you know, it blows me away. I was like, oh, so you're just going to keep doing what you're doing? Because he was still going to the gym. He's like, oh, I still got aches. I'm like, what are you doing, man? You know?
So fitness is a big part of people's lives right now. Like you go back to 20 years ago, like so many more people now are focusing on health and fitness, and not just for their physical aspect, for their mental aspect. What do you see this space looking like in 10, 15 years time? Do you feel there's going to be like more like clinical centers out there providing like longevity type medications and recovery medications? Do you see that space growing?
I think so. So I look at you look at Bali. You can go there and you can kind of go to like a fitness epicenter, right? Like you can get IV drips brought to your house, do all your vitamins and stuff like that. When I went to Colombia with my partner at the start of the year, because she's Colombian, I could do all that stuff there. You can't do that here. So it's interesting that the third world countries, let's say, are already doing those things that the first world countries aren't because of their money. So when something becomes more affordable here, I feel like we will see that space grow. But a lot of people are on I feel like skin and I don't know, wellness is going to be a big thing, especially in men's space. Like I feel like more and more men are interested in trying to preserve how they look and look younger in a way, what all the females have done. So I feel like men will probably get pushed more towards that. But I do hope longevity is looked more into, because I love that more than anything, And I'll be open about it. Like I take steroids, I take peptides, but for me, I also care about my long-term health. I'm always doing my blood tests. I'm always checking my blood pressure. I'm doing all those things where I'm like, yes, I know what I'm taking could potentially affect my life, but that's why I do those other things to make sure I'm looking after myself, So I hope longevity becomes more popular as time goes on.
Speaking of longevity, I was listening to this. Sorry, it's a little bit of off topic. I was listening to these, these American guys. They're talking about the downside to ice baths. It could actually too much time and water under 5 degrees starts killing the nerve ends in your fingers. Kills the nerve ends in your fingers and your toes.
Is that why you do 40 seconds?
Yeah, 40-second ice bath. That's it.
He's like, 45 is too much.
And if you think about it, we go back 2-3 years, ice baths are the thing. Recovery centers, ice bath, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. But now it's a proven fact that it can, too much time, it kills the nerve ends, and especially in your feet where your most receptors are. Your nerve receptors in your fingers, and you start to kill your nerve ends. But people you hear it everywhere, ice bath contrast, ice bath contrast. And it's the whole thing's changing again.
What's where the dose makes the poison of anything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe a minute is good, but people stand there for 5 minutes because they want to show off. I don't know what they want to do it for, And it's that's probably too much. We've got to find that equilibrium. Is the most important thing. Yeah. Too much exercise is going to hurt you. That's where we start getting overuse injuries. That's where we start getting injuries. Too much nutrition is going to make you fat. Too restriction on your nutrition is going to give you an eating disorder. I just always think people are very hard. People love to go to extremes, right? And people don't like the middle. It's the middle's just boring, but the middle is where I think a lot of the results come. Number one, it's longevity, and number two, it's it's a little bit more boring, but it's sustainable over the long run. I can do an ice bath, but a minute is fine for me, or 30 seconds. Yeah. I'm not going to sit in there for 5 minutes. Plus, also, I feel like there's something in your brain where if you do too much of something, you're also kind of telling yourself maybe this is too much for me, Yeah. You've always got to kind of keep yourself in check.
And so how would you say? Let's say I'm just coming off the street to you, and I'm talking to you I want to go for a lifestyle change, and I want to be fit, I want to eat right. What would be a baseline? As a trainer, a nutritionist, and the other stuff that you kind of do your research into, what would be a baseline you'd start someone on?
What's the smallest thing you can start with? Breakfast, lunch, dinner. What's the easiest thing for you to work on first? I always find the easiest things to work on first, because the only way you gain motivation is by knocking over the first domino. If you're my lunch is always pretty good, but I need to work on my breakfast. Can you work on your breakfast? Yeah, I've got time. All right, here's 3 recipes for breakfast. Just hit that for the first week. The most annoying thing that I find with people is they think, this is too low, I want to go higher. But I'm you're not even doing that now. Get those little things into play, because that's how you build momentum. It's the same thing as someone who doesn't go to the gym at all, and they go, they might go 5 days a week because it's the New Year's resolution. And they go, I only went 3 days for the week 2. It's you still did 300% more than you did 2 weeks ago. So if you start small and you build up, that's how you make something sustainable. People look at me because I'm doing cardio, about 5 times a week, and I'll do weight training 5 times a week. You think I just started when I was 16 doing that? I just built myself up over time. You've got to build that engine. And most people don't need to do as much as what they look at trainers doing. They've just got to start from where they are, look where they are, and where can they make the next step.
Yeah.
People don't like that things are going to take time. And I'm like, did you gain 20 kilos over 3 weeks? No, you gained it over a long period of time. You want to lose it?
It's going to take as much time to get it off.
Yeah. Like, you would never be like, yeah, bro, I'm just going to go and gain 20 kilos in 3 weeks. Like, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
100%. But they go, oh, but why didn't I lose it in 3 weeks? Or people get so disappointed. They're so fixated, like, oh, the scale didn't move a kilo. I'm like, bro, you're 60 kilograms. Like, what do you want to lose?
Yeah, where are you losing?
Where are you? 100%.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to see the people's relationship with numbers, especially. And I always try and pull them off the scale, look more at the measurements, you know?
Dude, preach.
Yeah.
Preach.
Yeah.
Like, we hear that so often, and especially like on challenges, when people start to fuel themselves right, they're doing our style of training. So like, if it's a strength-based training like style, and once they finally start fueling their body properly, they start growing muscle tissue. So they're going to grow muscle and drop body fat at the same time. The scales don't move, freak the fuck out. But then you go and check the measurements, and you've lost 8 centimeters around your waist.
100%.
Like, cool. Like, that's the perfect result.
That's the perfect result.
Yeah.
I'm like, when you say to a girl, okay, what if you could go down 2 dress sizes, but you're the same weight? Oh, yeah, I'd be fine. Exactly.
That's
what
it.
are you focusing on the weight for, you know?
Yeah.
Or for the guy, I'm like, would you not rather be 90 kilos and be 10% body fat? Like, I don't like being lighter because, like, you just look a little bit better when you're a bit more fuller, you know? Would you rather be 90 at 10%, or would you rather get down as low as you can but look like this? Like, it's up to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Facts.
And would you say like the biggest thing that we're competing with right now, like as people, is comparison?
Comparison, but also the 30-second Instagram coaches or the
Yeah.
30-second... Like, I refuse to download TikTok because I just call it, like, the brain drain, you know? Like, it's just the brain rot where you just listen to, like, these 20-year-olds talk like they fucking know everything, you know? And actually, like, people go, oh, what do you think about this? Funny, one of my clients, she always send me people on TikTok, oh, what do you think about this? And I'm like, why do you follow these people? You know, like, she'll always know that I'm going to tell her the opposite of what they've got to do, or like, that's not like that. But it's like, she still gets fixated on that. And it's because people want, oh, this sounds like the perfect answer. This sounds like the quick result. People, if you tell them, oh, you stick with me for 2 years, Kye, you're going to be a completely different person. They're going to say, 2 years?
Yeah, done.
And you're like, oh, do you want to be a CEO of a company? Well, yeah, you're going to get it in 30 days. You're going to get it in fucking 3 or 4 years. You know, like, everything that is worth it in life has a
Takes
time
time.
component.
Yeah, you got to work.
100%.
And you appreciate anything that you work towards because you see the value, you see the grit, you see the sacrifice. And then once you see the results, you hold on to it.
Why do you think lottery winners, a lot of them lose their money straight away?
Yeah.
Because when you do not have the discipline to gain money and save money, all those things, you're going to piss it away, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I said to you guys at the start, I've been training since I was 16. People want to look like me now. I'm like, yeah, well, get in line, brother. You're 16.
Yeah. Go back to when I was 16.
Exactly.
Come join me at the
They
gym.
don't want to hear that. Oh,
Yeah.
you're 40. You've just gotten on your fitness journey now, and you expect to look completely different in 3 months. Like, come on. Yeah.
Gotta
That's
earn it.
Got to earn it, man.
Gotta earn it.
And you got to keep it. Like, people want to get it so fast. I'm like, okay, but then what? Like, what do you think? You think you stop going to the gym? You think you stop eating well? Like, this has to be a part of your lifestyle. So make sure whatever you're doing, even in the short term, is most likely going to be consistent in the long term.
Yeah.
Obviously, a deficit is not consistent in the long term, but it's like the habits we try and teach, protein, nutrition, like, you know, fruit, veggies, all those things, that's going to be a majority of it. Going to the gym 2 to 4 times a week has to be a majority of what you're doing. You don't do this for 3 months, lose the weight, and then just go, oh, yeah, sweet, like, I can go back to what I was.
Yeah,
because that's what got you there in the first place.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things I tend to see, and it's hard to speak on it, you know, because you don't want to say it directly to the person, is you could tell when someone's kind of almost on that slippery path or slope of like trying to do it quick and fast because their quality of life is diminishing. Like they're either tired all the time or sick, or you can feel it. Like there's always that almost that like their aura around them. Like, you know, like though you may be looking good, I guess physically, but emotionally and mentally you're just not there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's sort of like, and I feel like going back a few steps when you said like, do your due diligence, do your research, figure a few things out. Like I said, you do your blood test. Like though you may be doing this and this, you're doing your blood test. You're doing everything in the background. So like if something is slipping, you can say, okay, like that there's a little bit off. I know what I need to change.
100%. You check the oil in your car. You got to give it a service. You got to do it for yourself too. You know, always got to check in with yourself. And I feel like a lot of people don't have self-awareness, which is quite interesting. It's like you are in your body all the time, and you aren't aware of what's going on. You're like, oh, you look tired. Like, oh, am I? And you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you're tired. Like, how are you not aware of yourself? Type of thing. So I think having some awareness, but also like you may not be happy with where you are right now, but you also got to be kind to yourself that you're going to be moving to a better place. You don't want to change from a place of hate, because while that hate's going to motivate you, it's like you're never going to be happy with what you look at in the mirror. You know, how many people, I don't know if you guys have experienced this, but someone's got a massive result, but they still see themselves as how they were, you know? And it's like, you got to help them change that image in their head.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're going to keep doing
That's
things.
just human nature, though. Like,
Yeah.
dude, like if I'm not focused on my nutrition for fucking 6 to 8 weeks and then I lose a couple of kilos, I look at myself different in the mirror. But if you look at me from 10 years ago, like, I don't remember that guy.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, for me, I only see the initial changes. I don't see what I look like 10, 15 years ago,
yeah.
and how far I've come since then.
100%. People forget it, right?
Yeah.
And again, like 3 weeks, but it's also quite interesting because again, if you eat off because of your lifestyle, you feel like shit, right? I'm the same. I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't be doing. Like,
Yeah.
I just start to not be happy with myself because my lifestyle has changed so much now that I'm like, this is in alignment with who I am. And that's what we want to get to, where it's like, of course you can have a little bit of balance, but if you go too much in one direction, your actual lifestyle is pulling you back into good nutrition, good training, all those good habits that you want to keep as a foundation. If you don't build those things and you only do it for 12 weeks, it's only been 12 weeks. It hasn't been that long where you could definitely go back to where you were if you're not too careful. And that's why habits matter. That's why small wins over time matter, because every day, like I always say, the little things matter more than you think, you know, going with that extra 5-minute walk, cooking that, preparing your breakfast that only takes 5 minutes. All those little things add up, and it's like we don't think about it, but it's like if you do 50 different little things a day, that's what makes you the person you are.
Stack the small wins.
Exactly. It's not that you did a high rocks on the weekend. It's the fact that you trained every single day for the last 8 weeks to get to there. You know, little things always matter, and we forget about that.
Well, man, bro, I think that's a good way to wrap it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, killed it, man. Thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
thank you for sharing. And sorry, just a quick button. Like, if anyone wanted to reach out to get a bit more information from you, they could just find you on your socials.
Absolutely. Tyson the Trainer with 2 R's on Instagram is the best way to contact me.
Done.
My man.
Amazing.
Cheers,
Thanks,
bro.
boys. Cheers.
Cheers.